today's video, we're going to be dealing with infinite limits. A couple of things to remember. Keep in mind that infinity is not a number. It is more of a concept. When dealing with infinite limits, there are two types of limits involving infinity. Dealing with limits, you will keep some basic rules in mind. When you have a positive and a positive number, your result will be positive infinity. When you have negative and a negative number, your result will be negative infinity. But when you have a positive or negative and a positive or negative number, that means that the limit does not exist. We must follow a couple rules, do a couple of steps when dealing with limits and you get a non-zero over a zero value. The first thing you gotta do is solve the function using a number close to a coming from the left side. So the negative sign means you're approaching the limit from the left side. Number two, you got to find a limit of the function using a number close to a coming from the right side. So a plus means that you're approaching the limit from the right side. In the end, if both results give you the same value, then the limit is true. So if you get positive infinity on number one and positive infinity on number two, and that means the value is true. If you get a negative infinity and a positive infinity, that will give you a does not exist. The formula and concept for infinite limits is basically this. Limit as x approaches a of f of x equals infinity. So the way the graph looks, this means that the function values increase without boundaries. So basically, whether you approach from the left or the right, your function just continues on going. So let's do a couple of examples and see what we're talking about. Okay, let's try to solve this limit. If a equals 4, find the limit. Remember that when solving a limit, the first thing you want to do is plug in the value of x. So plug and chug. So in this case, we have limit of 2x plus 1 over x squared minus 8x plus 16 as x approaches 4. So the first thing we got to do is solve it plugging in 4 where x is. So let's do that real quick. Okay, now that we plug in 4, we notice that after we simplify, our answer is 9 over 0, which is a non-zero value, over 0. So what we have to do in this case is, by following the process, is solving the function using a number close to 4 coming in from the left. And then we got to solve it also with a number close to 4 coming in from the right. Okay, so after solving this, you can solve this, by hand or with your calculator. Doesn't really matter. Once you get the end result, notice that the answer, it's a positive number. So what we have to write here in this case, then we know that this is positive infinity. Okay, this is a positive value. If you had a negative sign, it would be a negative infinity. Okay, so now we have to solve it as x approaches 4 from the right side. So then we have to rewrite it. Okay, now we wrote the function with the positive sign. So that means that you're approaching the limit from the right side. So instead of using a 3.9, of course, we're going to use 4.1. So once we solve for 4.1, let's see what answer we get. Okay, now that we solved the limit with using 4.1, because we're approaching from the right, we notice that we also get a positive number, okay, as the answer. So in this case, you also have positive infinity right here. So what does that tell you? I guess you would say this is step 1, step 2, And for the result, we know that because answer from coming in from the left gives you a positive infinity, and the answer of coming in from the right gives you a positive infinity, we know that your answer is positive infinity for this limit. Okay? Why? Because as the rule says, both answers here match. So that means that your answer for the limit is going to be positive infinity. If this was a positive, this was a negative, then for number 3, you will say that the limit does not exist because these two don't match. Same thing, if this was a negative, this was positive, same thing. If both of these were negative, then you would say that your limit is a negative infinity. So that means that it will still exist. Okay? I hope this one problem kind of helps you with when you're working with infinite limits. I may do another problem, maybe 1 or 2 on a separate video. Yeah, if you like the video, just give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you.